Good afternoon and welcome to Senior Day here for Creighton Prep Varsity Soccer on the CP Sports Network. Tyler Reedy here bringing you the call on this cold, windy Tuesday afternoon, but playable conditions for the final home game of the season, at least the regular season for the Creighton Prep Junior Jays, taking on the Papio-La Vista Monarchs. Here in this one, you look at Creighton Prep, ranked third in the state coming in, picked up a huge win, their 10th win of the campaign on Saturday against the top-ranked Gretna Dragons. 2-1 the final score. It went down to penalty kicks. It was a tight game throughout. Creighton Prep had to play with 10 men for basically the entire second half after Brady Bragg picked up his second yellow card of the game. But the Junior Jays were able to pull it out down the stretch in PKs and avoid losing 3 consecutive games and keep the streak alive of not losing 3 consecutive games, a streak that's been going for 20 years now. So Creighton Prep soccer as strong as ever nearing the end of this 2022 regular season as we are underway, taking on 3-7 Papio-La Vista as the Junior Jays controlled possession off the kickoff, but now the Monarchs will play it back to goal. And now up the right side, Jacob Campbell trying to chase it down with Jack Fifley, one of the many seniors here for the Junior Jays, playing in his final regular season game at Leahy. As this is played through to Cade Stover, but now Morey takes it away up the left side, splitting attackers as Morey tried to flick it through to Jack Johnson, or make that Gonsowski. The Monarchs pick it off. Fifley knocks down a through pass up the sideline. Gonsowski trying to find control, but good work by Keegan Hylock. And now comes all the way back to goal for the Monarchs to restart. Papio's last game was a 4-0 victory on Thursday against Bellevue East. They were thumped in the Metro tournament by Gretna, the number 1 team in the state. Lost 10-0 in the opening round as Creighton Prep has a look here. Simon Metcalf into the right side of the box, plays it across, and Gonsowski just got the top of his foot, or make that the bottom of his foot on the top of the ball and rolled it slowly into the arms of the keeper. Bad bounce for him, and the Monarchs fortunate to avoid an early tally from Creighton Prep. Papio will bring it back up the right side here with Stover, given plenty of space. Now Fifley steps up, and a good step by John Burns, the aggressive midfielder, to intercept the pass, and now he frees up Gonsowski coming down the left sideline. He stops, works into the middle, and sends Metcalf into the corner. Simon Metcalf looking for a cross. Goes to the top of the box for George Loro, who runs into some traffic. Now Gonsowski gets a shot off, and the save is made. It was headed right for that near post on the right side, and the keeper got a hand to it and forces a Creighton Prep corner kick. But you see that Junior J offense, which was in a little bit of a funk a couple weeks ago with the 2-1 loss to Papio South and the 1-0 loss to Omaha Bryan, looking just fine to start this one. As Nick Ostapovich booms the corner kick, and the header from Stephen Kimenow is flicked wide left, and the Monarchs will have a goal kick. Look at the season as a whole for Papio-La Vista, averaging 1.2 goals per game and allowing 2.6 goals a game. It's been a rough campaign for them after they qualified for the state tournament just 3 years ago back in 2019. As they work across midfield, but the flag is up. Offside, it'll go against Cade Stover as he looked for a little give and go with Jacob Campbell, the junior. Creighton Prep will reset. Just about 3.5 minutes into this contest, as Peter Hoover receives at midfield, gets it to Morey right in front of the Junior J bench, and had to work through some traffic. Tough dribbling, and goes out of bounds for a Monarch throw. Hoover picks it off, looking to split the defense, but he commits a foul as it was taken away by Aiden Dixon. senior back for the Monarchs. And they'll have a free kick just shy of the 50-yard line. Sent in low and cleared out by Hoover. Now Osipovich steps up and sends that one out of bounds. Monarchs pretty firmly into the Junior J end here with an opportunity on the throw-in. Haven't gotten any good looks yet. We've already seen Creighton Prep with a couple close ones. As this comes all the way back for the goalkeeper. Gonsowski screaming in to apply pressure, but Monarchs do get it out up the right side. And now the freshman Brandon Tubbs puts on the brakes. Flicks it up in the air, and it comes down on the foot of Hylock, who does work through some attackers. And now Papio-LV Vista free for a moment until Maury makes a nice defensive recovery. And Ostapovich settles it down. And boots it all the way up that left side. Gonsowski will get on his horse trying to beat Tubbs to the ball. Tubbs trying to use his body as a shield. And he does to pick up possession, but a bit of a careless pass comes right to Metcalf in the box. Metcalf shoots, and it's in! Junior Jays lead 1-0. Just over 5 minutes into this one. Simon Metcalf on the board again. That's his 7th tally of the season. And the Junior Jays take advantage of just a careless play on the defensive side by Papio-LV Vista. And Metcalf with a rocket. Couldn't have placed it any better. Right into that bottom right-hand corner of the net. And it's all Creighton Prep early. Papio-LV Vista will look to make something happen up the right side. Comes back to midfield for it to be deflected out of bounds. Dixon tried to play it through. It was touched by the Junior Jays. Now the throw-in comes all the way to the corner. Fifley battling for it. And it goes out across the end line for a corner kick. So here's your first opportunity of the game for Papio-LV Vista. They'll send their senior Keegan Hylock, who has 3 assists on the year, down to take it. Josh Townley in net today for Creighton Prep, as the low slicing kick was misplayed at the top of the box, and Creighton Prep clears all the way back near midfield. But the Monarchs will look to send it right back in. Hylock runs into Hoover, and Maury picks it off. Aiden Maury sends Gonsowski up the left sideline. Let's see if he can get to this one, and he does. Gonsowski working back toward the middle. Firing across for Metcalf. He receives. Metcalf trying to get some space. Now frees up his man, but the shot sails over the net from Will Quinn. Simon Metcalf, as you would expect, active in all facets of the offense in the early going. That time setting up a teammate, but Papio has a goal kick. And now they'll send this one up the left sideline. Kimenow got in the air for a header, but instead it's picked up by Jacob Campbell. John Burns trying to race onto that one, but has to pull off and give way to Aiden Dixon, who sends it all the way back down in the box, and Josh Townley has his first action. Just under 8 minutes into this senior day contest, Creighton Prep and Papio-LV Vista. Simon Metcalf has the Junior Jays up 1-0 on a 5th-minute tally. And he's got the ball here. Metcalf looking for a cross. It was knocked down brilliantly by Tubbs. And Papio-LV Vista works it out near midfield. Burns playing a deep midfield there. Actually might be playing back today as Jacob Hove is not starting. Metcalf with excellent work working through the defenders, but Quinn couldn't get to it on the pass. However, Creighton Prep will keep the pressure applied with a throw-in. Quinn flicks it toward the box. Metcalf flags it down with his chest, but Papio clears it all the way out to midfield. Fifley chases it down, and will smartly let it trickle out of bounds for a throw-in. Here's Hoover. Some nice dribbling, gets it to Ostapovich, who finds Lauro on the right side. Back for Kimenow, who sent it just out of the reach of Gonsowski, and some time for the Monarchs to reset. Keeper's boot right to the sideline. Flick back into the middle looking for Campbell. And we'll get a whistle and a foul against the Monarchs right near the 40-yard line. Ostapovich will have a free kick opportunity as Creighton Prep sends 5 or 6 men into the box. We've seen time and time again this year on Ostapovich crosses and free kicks, Junior J's getting touches on it and driving them home, but that time it swings way out near the top of the box. No chance on that one, but Ostapovich sends it right back in. Gonsowski looking for room, and he just had the ball slip out from underneath him, and the Monarchs clear it out of bounds. Just about a quarter of the way through the first half. 1-0 Junior Jays on Simon Metcalf's goal. Burns over to Fifley. Pressure's on. He'll play all the way back for Townley, but it's a little bit wide of him, and that'll go out of bounds. So speaking of some unforced errors, although there was some pressure from the Monarchs, Fifley sends that pass all the way across the end line, and a second corner kick opportunity for Papio-LV Vista. As the corner flag blows over, that's the kind of wind we're dealing with today. About 15 to 20 miles an hour out of the south, and it's a cold wind. Hylock sets up for another corner. This time a higher trajectory as Kimenow gets it up in the air defensively. And the second effort right into the arms of Townley as a header from Brian Contreras was easily handled. Now Gonsowski sees it flicked all the way back and out of bounds. This will stay with Creighton Prep as Burns gets it up in the air. Lauro with a tough first touch coming out of the air, and goes out of bounds for Papio to throw it in. Darian Berrigan flicked up in the air. Quinn gets a head on it, looking for Hoover just out of his reach, but Hoover forces a foul, and Creighton Prep will keep it moving. Quinn, a quick free kick. Header gets knocked up behind the defense. There's Metcalf in stride, but did not get a great touch on it. As his shot attempt bounced harmlessly into the arms of the keeper, but there he is at the center of that offense again. The punt. Burns has to go back for it, but gets it up over his head. Lauro keeps it in play for Ostapovich. Pressure from the backside. He goes down. And it'll stay with Creighton Prep on a foul, as Ostapovich was taken down from his left side. Just over 12 minutes in, senior day at Leahy Stadium. Creighton Prep leads Papio-LV Vista 1-0 as the free kick from Ostapovich out towards Peter Hoover, who takes it for a moment, but surrounded by white shirts. Monarchs get it out as far as John Burns, who sends it right back in. There's Metcalf heading it out to Morey, who uses his noggin as well. Stumbling all over the place, and we will get a corner as Papio-LV Vista knocked it out of play. Junior Jays keep the offense pressing here. So have yet another opportunity. This will be Peter Hoover on the corner. Here it comes, swinging in. Quinn nearly got the head to it, but the keeper just fisted it out of play, rather out of the box, as Fifley tries to send it right back in, but it's cleared out for Ostapovich. Had Kimenow on the right side, but instead tried to force it through to Lauro Lotto, as Burns races all the way back toward Townley, and good work to get it ahead to Kimenow. Goes through the legs. Gets it back from Lauro. Lauro again. Good passing from the Junior Jays, but now they see one intercepted by Contreras. Ostapovich picks it right back up. Burns with a line drive that gets through to Metcalf. Potential chance here. Gonsowski trying to split the defense. Gonsowski's in, and the save is made. Metcalf with a second chance opportunity, but it goes off a leg out toward the corner. He'll have to regather here. Metcalf wheeling right back in toward the top of the box. Hoover backs up. And now feeds over to Ostapovich. He fires toward goal, and it's right into the arms of the keeper. So the Junior Jays add 2 more shots on target, but good work in goal. Now Fifley steps up, but fired it right to the Monarchs. This is Aiden Dixon on the far side, pressured by Metcalf. It'll go out of bounds, but stay with Papio. A little bit over 25 minutes remaining in the first half. It's been all Creighton prep. Monarchs have picked up a couple opportunities. Put a little bit of pressure on Josh Townley, but the few saves he has had to make so far have been relatively easy. Ostapovich up the left side. Metcalf tracks it down. A quick cross, but could not get his foot around it. And it slices over the end line for a goal kick. If you're just joining us, it was Simon Metcalf's goal in the 5th minute that gave the Junior Jays this 1-0 lead. As George Lauro tries to feed it through to Hoover. It takes a bounce toward Quinn, but Michael Whitney got it out of play. Now Quinn with it. Flicks it up toward Gonsowski. Couldn't get his head to it. And taken down hard was Keegan Hylock. Foul against Prep. Free kick coming for the Monarchs. Papio's leading scorers are Caleb Walker with 3 goals, number 6 in white. Rafael Nolasco Lopez, number 10, with 3 goals as well. Darian Berrigan, number 14, has 2, along with Tommaso Alazzoni with 2. As Gonsowski looking for Metcalf. He wants his 8th of the season, but the shot is blocked. And now the Monarchs will reset. Stover up the right side. Away from Alazzoni and all the way out of bounds. Burns with a big boot out toward midfield. Grady Thober got ahead to it, and now Stover sent it off of Morey, who gets it back from Hoover. Morey to Hoover once again. Trying to get it to Gonsowski, who won't be able to run it down as it goes across the goal line. And the Monarchs will have a goal kick, but not before they make a couple changes. Substitutions as Jose Mayorga, the sophomore, is in. Berrigan and Contreras come out. Jake Medina is in as well. Medina's got it here, sends it back to Stover. Now on the right side it goes out of bounds. Monarchs with a throw-in. Alazzoni tried to touch it on to a teammate, but Hoover was right there for Prep. Burns spins it off Alazzoni, out of bounds. Creighton Prep with a throw-in. Just under 22 minutes to go. Gonsowski trying to work through some Monarchs. Hoover gets on it. Now Morey. Look at that dribbling. Aiden Morey with a burst, but too heavy of a touch. It's just out of bounds. That was almost incredible by Aiden Morey. Somehow got through that tight space. There were about 3 white jerseys around him. He got clear of it, but just took a little bit too heavy of a touch. Monarchs with a throw-in. Goes under the sweeping leg of Hoover. Fifely goes back for it. And that one off the Monarchs last with Alizoni putting the pressure on. Fifely's throw is headed back in there by Stover. Out of bounds. Monarchs will keep it. So starting to see some more sustained offense, if you will, from the Monarchs. They haven't had much in terms of shot opportunities, but they've kept the ball in the Creighton Prep end here for quite some time. Dixon fights for it with Ostapovich. Now it comes back for Stover, who races onto it. Fifely didn't get a great touch in the air. Alizoni flicks it way up there. And a tough first touch. Loro emerges from the pack with it. Look at that strength. Loro racing down the right sideline, but he's fended off by Whitney. And now Mayorga over to Thober. Cade Stover fires it off of Gonsowski and has to play it across for Tubbs. Good give and go, gets it back to Stover. Tried to find his man Medina up the right sideline, but it wasn't there. Stover gets it back. Morey blocked the pass and sent out of bounds. Monarchs will have a throw-in. Poor first touch from Thober, but still getting to it was Medina. Now it comes back for Stover and goes out of bounds. Throw-in for Papio and La Vista. We're past the midway point of the first half. 1-0 Creighton Prep as Burns gives way to Kimenow. Now Quinn. Kimenow runs onto it. Sends it back into the middle for Quinn. George Loro on the right wing. Good fake. Gets him free. Loro's cross was a bit heavy. Gonsowski works it right back to Metcalf, who sets up Quinn, who sends it wide. But it did take a deflection. And Creighton Prep will have a goal, or rather a corner kick out of that. Great quick passing by the Junior Jays to set up Quinn with that opportunity. Here's Hoover's corner. It's high, sailing well across the back post. Gonsowski tries to head it back into a scoring chance. And now Burns trying to fend off the much larger Alizoni. Monarchs send it back up the middle, trying to race onto it. That's Keegan Hylock. Look at his speed. Hylock fires one wide to the left as he had Kimenow and Fifely in hot pursuit. Great work by Hylock just to get something going for the Monarchs. They haven't had much going toward that Creighton Prep goal. Hylock showing off his speed. Nearly created something there. Fifely for the Junior Jays on the left side. Out for Gonsowski. Good pass off the outside of his foot for Morey. Cuts it back. Sends it to the middle for Metcalf. Kimenow. Good crossover move, and he feeds Ostapovich, who has time and space to find Metcalf. Loro comes on to it. The Monarchs cleared out of the box. Will Quinn gets right back to it for the Junior Jays, and that's out of bounds for a Prep throw-in. It'll be Kimenow. 17 minutes to go in the first half as Hoover trying to get a touch on it. Instead, the Monarchs take this one back. Mayorga watched by Kimenow and Metcalf, and it's Metcalf with the takeaway. Simon Metcalf coming in, trying to feed it through 2 Monarchs to Morey. Never got there. And now Quinn battles for it with Hylock. Quinn comes up with it, but can only get as far as Rafael Nolasco-Lopez. Quinn with an effective challenge on him, but it does go just out of bounds before Kimenow could get there. And the Monarchs have a throw. Peter Hoover flicked back in by Mayorga. Burns to Kimenow. All he could do was get in Hylock's way, so it trickles out of bounds. Monarch throwing. Mayorga works it back down. Alizoni, a good move, trying to get around Burns, but Burns is just too quick. Great defensive effort by John Burns. What he gives up in size, he more than makes up for in terms of speed and explosiveness. But the Monarchs still have a chance here. Hylock is on the ground, as we'll have a free kick coming for Papio-LV Vista. Or will we? What's the ruling here? Everybody kind of standing around, and yeah, indeed, everybody will filter back into the Junior Jays box. The officials let them play the advantage, but now a real chance coming up for Papio. Junior Jays will set up a 4-man wall with Loro, Quinn, Kimenow, and Hoover. Looks like Nolasco-Lopez to take it after 2 men run past, and the shot is low and fended off by Townley. Out of bounds for a corner kick. It was the same spot where we saw Noah Boyd of Scott Catholic score an incredible free kick goal back in March at the Ignatian Cup that was featured by Sports Center at one point, but went with the much lower trajectory, and Townley with that long reach of his got to it. Another corner coming from Keegan Hylock. It's a pretty good one, but it squeaks through everybody. Alizoni couldn't feed it through. Loro beats him to the ball and emerges with it. Plenty of room up the right side. Got Hoover as well. He feeds him. Peter Hoover works back to the middle. Gets it to Quinn. But taken back by Nolasco-Lopez as he disrupted things. Quinn picks it right back up and springs Metcalf down the right side. Too heavy a touch, though. Ran right into Whitney. And now the Monarchs get it as far as midfield, where Burns plays over to a wide-open Fifely. Under 14 minutes until halftime. Morey. Not a great pass as he tried to find Gonsowski cutting diagonally toward the sideline, but got his foot around it a little too much. Out of bounds for a Monarch throw-in as they make a change. Here's Berrigan back in the game running onto it and sending it over to Mayorga, who's wide open. And he kind of just lets Kimenow get to it and send it out of bounds for a Monarch throw-in. Papio has definitely dominated the last 10 or so minutes of play. Just about everything has been on the Creighton Prep end here. It was all Junior Jays in the first 15 minutes. As here's Mayorga. Burns with a great challenge. Loro comes up with it. Ahead for Metcalf, but just got past him. Now Quinn picks it up. Trying to find Metcalf, but it's defended well by Nolasco-Lopez. Hylock works it over to Whitney. Burns uses his head well. He has been all over Tommaso Alizoni in this one. However, Burns loses it. Hylock gets it to Alizoni. Burns is not back defensively, but Fifely is. Kimenow racing to try to save it, but he can't get there. And the Monarchs have a throw-in. Under 12 minutes to go now until the halftime break. Ostapovich effectively defended Berrigan. And now Kimenow and Burns. Burns clears. Metcalf Taps it back for Quinn. Soft pass, but Hoover does get it back for Quinn. Ahead for Dominic Mantone, who's fresh into the game for Creighton Prep. And now Nolasco Lopez starts ahead with it, trying to chase down Burns. Nolasco Lopez gets a touch on it, but last touched by him over the end line for a Prep goal kick. Papio will make a substitution as Jacob Campbell is into the game. Tommaso Alazzoni heads to the bench as the goal kick eluded Ostapovich. However, he does get it back for a moment and goes down. There's no whistle. Quinn fighting for it with Campbell. And now we finally will get a foul against the Monarchs as Quinn hit the deck. Burns will be the one to take the free kick. Pasali and Max Matthews are set to come into the game for Creighton Prep as head coach Tom Hoover went with the senior-heavy starting lineup on this senior day. Mantone looking to find Loro. Good touch over to Mantone, but just out of his reach. Quinn picks it up on the run. Into the top of the box. Quinn shot died down in traffic, and it's fielded cleanly. Under 10 minutes to go. Papio looking for that equalizer here before halftime. As Hylock fights for it. Eventually Laurel picks it up on the right sideline. Played back for Kimanow. Burns as they swing it all the way across for Fifley. He's got plenty of time and space. Sends it into the offensive end where good touch is made by Thober. And now here come the Monarchs. Berrigan trying to free his man up the right side. That's Medina. Maury, however, beat him to it. And now Hoover. Ostapovich, pressured by Campbell. Goes back for Fifley, who shoots one up the left sideline, but couldn't quite get it to Mantone. And now Burns with another good challenge as Jose Mayorga could not get through. George Loro still has it. Couple great moves from him, and he's got options. One of them is Metcalf screaming up the right side. Metcalf all the way in. Metcalf across, and it went just behind his man, Dominic Mantone. And Papio sends that one into the Prep bench and out of bounds. And that was quite the opportunity as the Junior Jays will make a full-on line change here. Pasali, Jack Johnson, Max Matthews are into the game, along with Owen Glagowski. So we'll see several of the seniors checking out. Throw-in comes into Mantone, who touches it on to Pasali. He uses his speed, but eventually runs into the defense, and the Monarchs clear. That's Brandon Tubbs. Get a foul on Creighton Prep here as Nolasco Lopez was contacted as he went up for the header. Now just over 7 minutes to go until halftime. Junior Jays lead 1-0 on the 5th minute goal by Simon Metcalf, who is now out of the game. Ostapovich directs that one straight up in the air. And now Kimanow runs onto it and sends it out to midfield. Defender went down trying to make a play on the ball. And now Jack Johnson is free. He's got Matthews with him, trying to find Matthews through the defense. And that one goes out, but it'll be a corner. So Matthews good work to just stay with it. It looks like it'll be Peter Hoover to take yet another corner kick. Mantone got a piece of that one, but leaping play made by the keeper. And it remains a 1-0 game, 6 minutes to go. Burns runs into his own man. He takes down Pasali as he was going for that one up in the air. And now Hoover picks it off from Nolasco Lopez, and here comes Gligowski. To the right side for Matthews. He has room. Flicks it down to the corner for Gligowski making a run, and that one just came off his foot wrong. Trying to send it in on a cross, and did not come off right. Papio-LV Vista will make a change, as we'll see Michael Whitney out of the game, and Bryant Contreras, the junior defender, into the game. Goal kick. Hoover gets to that 50-50 ball. And eventually it heads over toward Ostapovich, but it's picked up by Medina, who sends it ahead for Campbell, but well past him and into the arms of Townley, who quickly leaves that one out for Kimenow. Johnson trying to get it through to Gligowski, but Monarchs take it away, and now Hylock with room right in the middle of the pitch. Great ball down the right sideline. Medina racing to that one, and it goes out for a goal kick. I don't think Hylock could have put that one in a much better spot at all. That was a beauty going right through a couple Junior J defenders and gave Medina a great chance to use his speed and just ran out of room. As Hylock gets it right back here. Couldn't play it through Gligowski. And he'll turn it all the way back for Fifley. That one goes out, and it'll be ruled a Monarch throw-in. So good pressure put on by Zach Schaefer. The Monarchs now with a chance here to potentially create something just before halftime. Long throw-in, eventually comes right back out of bounds, and this time it'll be Creighton Prep. Pasali leaves it back. Fifley sends it out toward Mantone, but good first touch by Tubbs to knock it down. Now Pasali runs onto it, gets it through to Mantone, who finds Hoover running the middle. Peter Hoover. Back for Gligowski, trying to find Johnson, but it was knocked down effectively. Hoover gathers out near midfield, finds Fifley. On the ground to Gligowski. Pasali working on the left side. Using his quickness, Pasali gets the cross through. Matthews waiting for it, and it's cleared out there by Grady Thober. Now Berrigan up the right side. Plenty of room to work with for Medina. Fifley watching. Pasali hustling back. And Burns blocked that one from getting through. Pasali leaves for Fifley. 2:15 to go as Mantone takes it at midfield. And works it over to Matthews. Johnson and Mantone up ahead. Matthews has to peel back. Surveys his options. And didn't get the pass off like he wanted as he dribbled the ball just out of reach. But Hoover swoops in and brings it back for Kimenow. That one goes out of bounds, and Creighton Prep will have a throw-in as time continues to tick down here in this first half. Gligowski on the feed from Johnson. Gets the cross through, but it's cleared back out as far as Max Matthews on the sideline. Matthews directs it right back in. Pasali knocks it down, and his shot trickles just wide. Under 90 seconds to go. Goal kick here for the Monarchs. As in all likelihood, we will go to the break with Creighton Prep leading 1-0. Mantone over to Pasali. Knocked out of bounds by the defense. Prep keeps it on a throw-in. Pasali works quickly back into Mantone. Tried to play it through the legs of a Monarch, and it goes out of bounds off Papio, so a corner kick. Pasali gets it right in for Ostapovich. Ostapovich was defended well. And now the Monarchs will race ahead with it. Campbell with room. Kimenow trying to get back on him, and Kimenow beats him to it. Great defensive recovery with now well under a minute to play. But Campbell's right back on it. Sends it well behind his man Medina. Pasali will go to get it. Just 20 seconds to go. Fifley works it through and now gets it back from Mantone. He'll go back to his keeper. 10 seconds to go.
8, 7, 6.
As Monarchs try and get one more chance, but Ostapovich will flick it out of bounds, and we will go to halftime with Creighton Prep leading Papio-La Vista 1-0. Simon Metcalf's goal in the 5th minute, the only mark in this one. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for the final 40 here on Senior Day. Welcome back to Leahy Stadium. Junior Jays lead the Monarchs 1-0 on this senior day. Simon Metcalf, the lone tally in this one in the 5th minute of the first half. Papio-LV La Vista will have it on the opening kick of the second half. So we tick down the final 45 seconds of halftime, but looks like everybody's ready. Papio at 3-7 on the year, Crane Prep at 10-2, and the third-ranked team in the state in Class A, according to the Omaha World Herald. John Burns jumps right on that opening kick. Zamir Asaka is into the game for the first time for Prep. So is Drayton Baber and Jacob Hove. Like I said earlier, head coach Tom Hoover went with the senior heavy lineup. Now starting to get the regulars back in there. Asaka plays back for Owen Glagowski. And now the center back Hove. To the right side for Baber. Matthews with room. Gets the engines going as he brings it into the middle. Looking for Metcalf, who leaves it back for Asaka. Matthews now. White jerseys all over the place, and eventually the Monarchs get it out. Campbell races onto it, and he kept it in. TJ Durbin is in at keeper as well, and he comes all the way out past the 20-yard line to clear that one. Baber tries to get to that one, but it's out of bounds under the Prep bench. Monarch throwing. Papio trying to avoid another one of those shutouts. They had a nasty, nasty stretch earlier this season where they lost to Millard West 4-0, lost to Benson 1-0, lost to Elkhorn South 1-0, and then lost to Gretna 4-0. So that's outscored 10-0 in 4 consecutive games. That was from March 22nd to the 28th. As this is Zamir Asaka up the right side, watched by Nolasco Lopez. Asaka fires with the left foot, and it goes wide. We've seen that deadly strike from Asaka time and time again this season. He's netted 5 goals this season, but that time went awry. Pasali picks off the goal kick right away out of the air, but Monarchs knock that one right back out to midfield. Metcalf flicks it off the head over to Pasali. He stops, watched by a couple of defenders. Now Burns finds Ostapovich, back to Pasali. Good ball movement from the Junior Jays as this one sent right in on goal and handled by the keeper. Punt knocked up in the air by Fifley. Pasali gets ahead on it, and Burns flags it down and goes back for Hove, who's got some time to work with. Legowski over to Baber. Legowski gets it right back. And Burns making a run, instead goes further up ahead to Pasali. Pasali working into the middle, cutting through that defense, leaves for Asaka. Zamir Asaka trying to fire one through that traffic. Gets kicked up in the air. Headed out to Burns. Tries to work back into the box, but instead has to retreat with Berrigan all over him. And now we'll have a whistle. Prep tried to keep it moving there just outside the box, but instead Junior Jays will have to throw it in. Pasali into Metcalf, right back to him, and then tried to go back for Metcalf, and it was too heavy and out. Another goal kick coming for Papio. So Junior Jays, just like the beginning of the first half, controlling things with a heavy hand here in the second half. Ball has hardly crossed midfield in these first 4.5 minutes. And it looks like it will here, as we'll get a foul against Prep, and a free kick coming at about the 40-yard line for Papio. Velasco Lopez will take it. Tied for the team lead with 3 goals on the year. Had 2 against Bellevue East last Thursday. They'll need to get him going, and I'm sure he'll get much more aggressive from his defensive position down the stretch. Isaka might have gotten a little too fancy receiving that one, went through his legs, and the Monarchs look to bring it right back in. Fired toward Dervin and handled cleanly on the deep shot by Berrigan. And now Dervin fires that one up to the right side and is on point for Matthews. Ostapovich. Right back over to Matthews. Plenty of room to work with. Has Metcalf and Asaka in the middle. Matthews looking for a cross. Puts a move on, gets it into Metcalf, who tried to flick it over to Burns running into the box, but again, a bit too heavy. Monarchs will get started once again with a goal kick. Campbell could not get to that one in time as the pass went out of bounds. Throw in for Matthews and Prep. Metcalf sees it pinball away, and it's boomed all the way back out for Hove to take it. Fifely with Stover coming on. Brings it over to Pasali. Asaka. Looking to get free of Tubbs, but can't. Now does get it over to Burns. John Burns cuts into the middle, leaves for Glogowski. Prep will have to reset. Baber fires it in, but it's nowhere near any black shirts. And across the end line, we'll have another goal kick for the Monarchs. Great Prep, however, just continuing to dictate the pace, and sometimes that's all you need to do when you've already got the lead. Just keep the pressure on. Don't give the opponent any opportunities to counter. And before you know it, the time's up. Ho feeds it ahead of Glogowski. Here comes Prep again. Pasali tries to get around Brian Contreras. Finds some space. Here comes the cross. Pasali swings it in, and there's a lot of traffic. The keeper was upended. It goes out of bounds for a corner. Burns was crashing. Metcalf was in there as well. Fortunately, everybody's all right down there. The Junior Jays will have another opportunity off a corner. As that one, Metcalf looking for a head on it, but cleared all the way out. Back for Fifely. Sends one high in the air, and the keeper punches it out. Matthews racing back for it, but beyond him and out. Throw in for Prep. Burns puts a good move on after receiving the throw in. Swings the cross in. Metcalf got a head on it and sends it over the goal and out of play. Papio will have another goal kick. Junior Jays, after today, will head to Morrison Stadium at Creighton University on Saturday for the Kicks for a Cure game against Omaha Westside, the 4th-ranked team in Class A. And they'll take on Millard West on the road on Tuesday. As Metcalf brings it through, has a look, fires, and the save is made. And then to close out the regular season, Junior Jays go to 10th-ranked Elkhorn South next Thursday before districts. They'll be surely well positioned for that. Papio on the other side has a tough stretch coming up. After this one, they go to 2nd-ranked Papio South and the battle for Papillion on Monday, and then hosting Bellevue West on Wednesday. Glogowski to Asaka, now Burns. Prep, as I talked about a little bit earlier with that Gretna game, in a tough stretch right now. had to beat 7th-ranked Omaha South in the Metro tournament, lost to 2nd-ranked Papio South in that tournament, and then played 5th-ranked Bryan and lost, beat top-ranked Gretna on Saturday, getting a little bit of a break from the top 10 action with Papio here, but like I just mentioned, right back into the top 5 with Westside on Saturday as Matthews can't get the cross through. And now here comes Campbell, racing up the left side. Burns does a somersault trying to defend him, but Prep does win the ball back. Glagowski, Drayton-Baber. Not sure where that was going to. Matthews was wide open on the right side, but Baber sent it much, much further down the line, all the way into the corner. As we'll now see Papio make a change. Zach Schaefer is out. And it looks like Jake Medina is in. Contreras after the goal kick. Fifley boots that one back in. Too heavy a touch, and Burns is right onto it, as Thober didn't handle it well. Ostapovich is there for Prep. Finds Burns, streaking into the box. Burns back for Asaka, but it just eluded him. However, Matthews right back on it for Prep. Matthews working through, looking for Asaka and Metcalf. Now Glagowski has a go. That's a rocket, but it's well over the net. And Papio will have a goal kick. Well, he put all his force behind that one. One of the harder shot attempts we've seen this year. Now under 29 minutes to go in the second half. Crane Prep holding on to that 1-0 lead. Although it's not taking a whole lot to hold on to it. They're all over the Monarchs here to start the second half. Papio has had no offensive opportunities as Pasali gets free and sees that one knocked out for a corner kick. He worked around Contreras, and then Berrigan stepped in. Pasali will head back into the box to prepare for another Prep corner. Here it comes toward the back post, and a near miss. Glagowski got the head on it and sent it across the net mouth and out of bounds to the far side. But another opportunity. Corner kick coming again for Prep. Back post again, that time over Glagowski, and now we'll have a corner from the other side. So Ostapovich, the initial corner taker, will give way to Pasali as it switches over to the far side. Prep has 6 in the box. Burns lurking just outside the top of it. It's a low line drive from Pasali, and the Monarchs clear. Here comes Campbell. Burns right with him. Jacob Campbell trying to find Medina, but Baber's right there. Now Asaka. Ostapovich. Shielding off Stover. Now Matthews does well to keep it in play. Max Matthews. Oh, what a move. Now he's got a cross. Metcalf heads it over to Pasali, who flicks that one just wide. Some fancy footwork that time from Max Matthews to free himself up for the cross. And good idea from Pasali, just trying to get that one in the air in the direction of the net and see what kind of deflection it can take. But instead, another goal kick, and Papio struggling mightily to just get the ball across midfield here. See if they can generate some lasting possession here. They do get it across midfield, but Baber heads it off. Campbell. Baber steps right back in. It does go out of bounds, and Monarchs will have a throw in at midfield. I think part of the problem for Papio is that Creighton Prep has not only brought in their regular starting backs and Hove and Baber, but those guys are fresh as well. They sat basically the entire first half with the seniors getting extended time. As Matthews plays it ahead for Asaka, looking for a cross. Asaka instead drops it back. However, Matthews had the connection interrupted. Berrigan steps in. Good touch from Hylock, but Medina lost control. Ostapovich to Pasali. Contreras defending. Pasali gets around him and now peels back. He's got Fifley as an option and finds him. Jack Fifley to Ostapovich. Into Burns. Legowski. Good touch. Gets it back. Legowski with a look. And he might have just taken a little bit too long. If he fired that one right away, it may have gotten through, but Papio did well to close right back in on him. However, Burns and Prep keeping the pressure on. Matthews looking for Legowski, but it's cleared out. Campbell will pick it up. Going head-to-head with Baber, and Baber, as usual, wins that challenge. Now Legowski over to Asaka. 24 minutes and 10 seconds to go in regulation time. Prep up 1-0 on the first half goal by Simon Metcalf, his 7th of the year. Legowski leaves for Baber and gets it right back. Zamir Asaka works into the middle. Finds Ostapovich. Great feed. Ostapovich a shot and he scores! A rocket into the bottom left corner from Nick Ostapovich. And the Junior Jays get the much needed insurance marker. It's 2-0 in the 56th minute here at Leahy Stadium. Nick Ostapovich, who's been running that middle all game long, setting the table for the offense, just set the table for himself. What a shot that was. His first goal of the season. As we'll see Metcalf check out, Jack Johnson is into the game for the Junior Jays. That was great work as well by Zamir Asaka to cut into the middle, get it to Ostapovich, give him a chance to run onto the ball, and put a great strike on that one. The Junior Jays still not letting up now. Legowski heads it right back to Pasali. Comes right into Contreras, however, for the Monarchs. Now Stover, shielded off by Pasali. Pasali's free. Gets it to Asaka, but he's defended very well. Great effort that time on the defensive end by Nolasco Lopez. But Burns right back with it. Sneaks by Contreras. Ostapovich didn't get a good foot on that one, and it'll go all the way out to the far side. Near the corner, it's out of bounds, and a Monarch throw-in. Under 23 minutes to go. As Hylock got it through. Looks like Alizoni's back into the game for the Monarchs. Now Fifley picks it off. Starts things up for Prep. Pasali again matched up with Contreras. This time he goes to the middle. Pasali to Asaka. Defended extremely well. That's a heck of a play. And it'll be a goal kick. Looked like that was Tubbs on the back end for Papio, giving Asaka no room to breathe as Prep will make another change. Mantone is into the game. Ostapovich, the second goal scorer, is out, so now both Prep goal scorers sitting on the bench. Metcalf came out earlier for Johnson. Hylock flicks that goal kick on to Alizoni. And now Stover gets free, showing some speed. Stover with only Hove to beat, and Hove is very difficult to beat. He gets to it and knocks it out of bounds off of Stover. Prep will have a throw-in. advance the throw in a little further ahead as he was headed out of bounds there by Stover. Fifley will do it again. This time goes back for Glogowski. Nearing the midway point of the second half. Ooh, what a move by Fifley going through the legs. As it'll come all the way back for Hove. Baber threads the needle for Mantone. Burns runs onto it, leaving for Matthews, but a bit too heavy, and it's out of bounds. Throw-in comes back for Hove. He'll play for Fifley. Monarchs just haven't had the sustained offense in the second half. They had a little bit about midway through the first half, but hasn't been there at all when they've needed it, trying to get back in this game. We've seen the deficit grow to 2 now as Matthews works through. Instead goes back for John Burns. He's got Legowski trying to feed it through for somebody. Pasali and Asaka were in the area, but goes by both of them and to the keeper. And we are under 20 minutes to play in regulation. Prep trying to close it out and move the record to 11-2. However, Papio's not going down quietly, as Hove has to fend off Stover, and he does effectively. Pasali up the left side. Now Mantone. Back for Glogowski. He has options and plays over to the sideline for Matthews. Glogowski again in the middle. Johnson gets to it. Has Burns wide open on the outside and finds him. Burns flicks it back to Johnson. Doesn't have a chance to get the cross through, however, he stays with it. Johnson right back up the sideline, and Matthews has plenty of real estate. Glogowski to Johnson. There's the cross. It's shot down, and it'll go out of bounds and stay with Prep. They'll have a throw-in very close to the corner as Kimenow will take the place of Fifley for the Junior Jays. And the Monarchs will also bring out Stover as Campbell is back in. And we're ready for the throw-in. It comes into Burns. Burns somehow got that one through. But the Monarchs emerge with it for a moment. Mantone does get back on it. And now Drayton Baber resets. Ahead for Johnson. Has Matthews on the sideline. There he is. Max Matthews going back and forth. Looking for that room, and he finds it, but didn't have a great angle. And the cross rides the end line and goes out of bounds for another goal kick. 17:35 to go. Prep goals by Metcalf in the 5th minute. And in the 56th minute by Nick Ostapovich. As this one is boomed all the way down by Campbell. Durbin waits for it and reels it in. Josh Townley was a lot busier in the first half than Durbin has been in the second. Both Prep goalkeepers are seniors. As this is Matthews. Feeding through to Mantone. Glogowski gets it back for Prep. Johnson. Prep has some numbers here, but there's nobody home as Johnson was expecting Asaka to make a diagonal run toward the corner. He did not. And Papio will have a chance to get things moving. Highlock. This one is lost by Grady Thober. Baber's got it now for Creighton Prep. Johnson, one touch to Glogowski. Mantone Steaming to try and get that one. He does force the Monarchs to clear it out of bounds. So Prep another throw-in with 16 minutes remaining now. Comes right into Matthews. Matthews across. It was deflected. Comes right back for Burns. He has Kimenow open on the left side. Kimenow to Mantone. Mantone to Burns. It was poked through by a Monarch, and Prep keeps it going. Kimenow to Pasali. Working on Contreras again. Pasali blazes past him once more. Monarchs bring reinforcements and force a corner kick. Prep had some subs ready to go at the flag, but now it appears they'll wait. As the corner is up over the goal. Keeper did well just to keep that one from entering the top of the net. It remains 2-0. Prep, however, will have another corner here. As that's Pasali swinging it in, and now they'll make him go all the way to the other side. Under 15 minutes to go. Pasali brings it in, and that one was not very close as it goes out of bounds before getting into the net mouth, and the Monarchs have another goal kick with time very much against them. Prep will make 4 changes here, as I alluded to. Gonsowski, Hoover, Loro, and Mori for Matthews, Pasali, Glagowski, and Asaka, as Coach Hoover will let many of the juniors finish this one out. The goal kick goes over Burns and is headed by Mayorga. Hoover trying to get to it. Pushes it on for Gonsowski, who's got fresh legs. Him and Loro both put enough pressure on to force a throw-in. Hoover back to Loro. And referee's flag was up for a moment, but they'll play on here until it's cleared out by Contreras. Kimenow lost it, and now here comes Jacob Campbell. Burns is screaming back for Prep, and Hove with a great touch to flag that one down as Campbell tried to play it through for Alazzoli. Best look the Monarchs have had in a while. But the speed and the awareness of that Creighton Prep defense on display. Burns back for Hove. Under 13 minutes to go. Mantone picks it up. Feeds it through to Burns. Maury just off the bench. Hugs the sideline looking for Johnson, and it hugs the sideline a bit too much. Throw-in coming for Papio. Bryant Contreras send this one in. Mantone poked it through for Johnson. And Johnson tried to cross it back in. It went off Contreras and out of bounds. Another throw-in coming for the Junior Jays. Maury provides it. Gets it in for Mantone. Up in the air. Burns receives well. And now is in a corner. Burns against Contreras. Burns works along the end line. Got it through to Hoover, but Monarchs cleared out as far as Maury. He plays back for Kimenow. And Kimenow, not sure he was entirely aware of where Maury was. The pass was intended as if he was further back. Went out of bounds. Monarchs can't do much with it, however. Johnson looking to get through. Now he applies pressure and gets it right back at midfield, and Alizoli shoulders him down from behind. That'll be a foul. Been a fairly clean game so far. No cards issued. Mentioned earlier in that Gretna game on Saturday, Prep lost Brady Bragg to 2 yellow cards, and as a result, we have not seen him at all today. Gonsowski over to Loro. Back for Baber, who's open. Stover crashes in on him. Hoover sends one into the box. It's headed up in the air. Keeper lost it for a moment with Johnson going up, but he does control it. Did well to keep the ball in front of him, but his punt is slicing out of bounds. You know, Hoover will work quickly on the throw-in, right to Gonsowski. Gonsowski with a good move. And him and Mantone basically tried to take the ball from each other. Bit of a miscommunication. However, Matthews is right there to keep it moving. Morey tries to get to it. He does. Morey firing up the crowd with his work as he forces the Monarchs to boot this one out of bounds. Pretty good showing from the Junior Jays in terms of their fans. They've got a dozen students in the first row, just to the left of midfield, as Peter Hoover works through, fighting off Contreras. Hoover working along that end line, and that's a tough job to do. However, he does force a corner. So with under 10 minutes to go now, Creighton Prep will have yet another opportunity to make it a 3-goal lead. The kick goes to the back post. Burns lets it rip, and it's high and outside. Burns scored a great goal back on March 31st against South Sioux City from a spot fairly similar to that. Just dribble it into the middle and let it rip and put it perfectly in the top right corner, as you saw he was going for there. That was his first career varsity goal, and that comes off his foot a little differently there. Maybe he's got his second, but he'll come out of the game. Well, Quinn takes his place as the Monarchs try to get something going, but Hoover covers for Drayton Baber and forces a Prep throw-in. 8:15 to go now. Quinn pushes that one through to Loro, but he lost it. However, it stays with Prep on the throw-in. Loro to Quinn. Back for Loro. He and Quinn continue to exchange, and that one goes out. Prep another throw-in. This time Quinn gets it through to Hoover. Peter Hoover to Mantone. Another look for Prep, and the keeper pounces on it before Gonsowski can get there. Papio really running out of time now. They've got 7.5 minutes to find 2 goals. I'm not even sure they found 2 shots in the second half as a whole. Mantone. Pressured. Got it through to Hoover. However, the Monarchs take it back. Maybe this is their chance to find something. Campbell. Defended perfectly by Morey. However, his touch was too heavy. Contreras plays it off of Morey and out of bounds. Papio works quickly on the throw-in as it comes back to Hylock. Jack Johnson touches it on to Gonsowski, whose pass was knocked down in traffic, but he stays with it. Great work by Gonsowski. Still trying to get to that ball. Look at Gonsowski go! Oh, what a save! I'm not sure what was more impressive, the work by Gonsowski or the save by the keeper. He fired a missile right into his chest. Prep will keep it, though. Quinn back to Johnson at the top of the box. Looking for Loro. Can he get there? No, he can't. And the keeper gobbles it up. What a sequence. Papio will try and generate something as Drayton Baber nudges his man off the ball. That's Stover for the Monarchs. Comes out of bounds for a throw-in. Papio will keep it, and they'll make a quick change. Isai Flores for Jose Mayorga. The throw-in goes back. There is Flores. Quinn battles with him. And now Mantone picks it up with room. Mantone ahead. Didn't get to Johnson as Hylock pushes that one out of bounds. But another prep throw-in coming up. George Lauro to Hoover. 5:15 remaining in regulation. Junior Jays pursuing their 11th win of the season. Trying to put themselves in a confident situation heading into a top 5 showdown with Westside on Saturday. Flores for the Monarchs. There's Junior Jays all around him though as Mantone plays back for Hove. Hoover to Mantone. Will Quinn, who's been busy since coming back to the field. Johnson couldn't find it. And now it's played on for Campbell. Jacob Campbell, nice move on Hoover. But he can only get as far as Kimenow. Now Morey for prep. Campbell went for the aggressive slide tackle and Morey lost him. Prep fans are loving that one. All Campbell could do was laugh as Flores now picks it up, stumbles for a moment. Bieber forces it back, and now Monarchs will try and work it up that left side. Stover can't get to it as it hooks out of bounds. We've got 4 minutes to go now. Junior Jays just putting the finishing touches on a senior day victory. As their last 3 games of the regular season will either be at a neutral site or on the road. Johnson putting the pressure on Nolasco Lopez, who does clear it out. Hove with a great poke to find Baber. Hove gets it right back. Baber fired it past Quinn. And now the Monarchs will get moving. Here's Stober, leaving for Contreras. Bryant Contreras up that right side. Campbell does get it after Kimenow deflected it. Campbell has Morey on his back, basically, and it'll be out of bounds for a prep throw-in. Hoover to Mantone, 3 minutes to go. Quinn, back to Mantone. Good touch by Contreras to defend that play. Couldn't quite keep it in, however. Morey will have another throw-in. Coming out of Hoover. Defended by Tubbs. And out of bounds for a prep throw-in again. 2:25 to play. Mantone receives it. Quinn trying to pick it away from Berrigan. It comes all the way back. Hove will now play it for the Junior Jays. 2:05 to go as Baber picks it up. Intercepted by Berrigan. And it'll trickle out of bounds for a prep throw-in just across midfield. Quinn emerges with it. Peter Hoover to Mantone. Almost got it through to Gonsowski. Morey tried to do the same, but it's cleared out to midfield where Hove calmly takes that one. Puts on a good move to free himself. Here comes Hove on a solo rush. Hove tried to find Gonsowski, but it was shut down. Now Hove will fire another one, but he pulled it, and it's wide left. 1:20 to play. That, in all likelihood, will be the final offensive look we see in that one. The Monarchs will have a goal kick. Papio just a moment away from being shut out for the 5th time this season. Maybe got the 6th time this year. The 2nd time in the last 3 games as Hoover sends in one more free kick. Monarchs clear that one with ease. Hoover flicks it back in, but Contreras steps onto it. He's pressured by Mantone. And out of bounds for one more Monarch throw in with 25 seconds to go. Prep about to pitch its 5th clean sheet of the season. As they battle for it one more time near midfield, we'll get a foul against Hoover. 10 seconds to go. Monarchs will send it down one more time. And the team's already headed to the benches. A senior day victory for the Junior Jays. They win it 2-0 over the Papio-La Vista Monarchs. The record is now 11-2 for the Junior Jays as they pick up goals from Simon Metcalf and Nick Ostapovich. And a tandem shutout between their 2 keepers, Josh Townley and TJ Durvin. They will go to Creighton University Morrison Stadium for the showdown with Westside and the Kicks for a Cure game on Saturday. And we'll be back to cover the district tournament for Junior J Soccer. We can almost be sure that they're hosting it the way they're playing this season. Just 3 games left to go with the record already where it is. And we'll be back with you tomorrow night for Creighton Prep Baseball as they'll be hosting the same Papio-La Vista Monarchs, your Metro Conference Tournament champion Junior J Baseball, at home at Jurgensen tomorrow night. So for our entire crew and everybody here on the CP Sports Network, thank you so much for tuning in for this Senior Day Creighton Prep victory. I'm Tyler Reedy saying have a great rest of your Tuesday nights.